This has been a weird year for the New England Patriots. After 2 straight decades of Super Bowl contention, the Patriots no longer find themselves in that conversation. Tom Brady leaves last offseason, in comes Cam Newton, and now we've got a debacle at the quarterback situation. The year started off fairly encouraging. That Week 1 win against the Miami Dolphins, Cam Newton lights the Seahawks defense up and we barely lose that game. It was a good start, but it hasn't been good ever since. Really, we can mark it back to post-COVID for Cam Newton, that Denver Broncos game. Ever since then, it's just been worse and worse. Now, as a Patriots fan myself, I can confirm that all Patriots fans thought, all right, we're going to get off to a rocky start. Typically, Bill Belichick, his game plans, he needs a couple weeks of film on these teams. Then he gets better. Cam Newton, brand new to the system, a limited off season. He's going to need a little bit of time too, and then this offense will continue to evolve. That's why people were so encouraged, and when I say people, I mean us New England Patriots fans, when we saw how good this team looked at the beginning of the season. 21 points to the Miami Dolphins wasn't fantastic. We ran the ball a lot, but we were just like, hey, it's not that bad. N'Keal Harry, too, he had that fumble on the goal line, probably could have made it 28 points, and we had such a run-heavy attack that we were like, hey, Cam Newton can run the ball, we can work off this, we can evolve, and that's what we did the next week against the Seattle Seahawks. This was a wretched defense, but it was still encouraging, and it felt like we were just going to continue to get better and better. We were feeling great. Like, this is great, this is going to go really well, and it's gotten worse, a lot worse. And now we got to start talking about benching Cam Newton. Now, I felt like Cam Newton should have been benched for Jarrett Stidham a couple of weeks ago, but now is the perfect time. Like, now it's now or never, right? It's now or never to see what Jarret Stidham's really got. But first, we're going to start with Cam Newton, because if Cam Newton was playing good football right now, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But he's not. Cam Newton came into New England after a stint in Carolina that went really well, except for the end. The end was poor. It was bad. He got hurt last season. Nobody wanted him. They didn't see the risk-reward as high enough. They looked at Cam Newton as an aging quarterback that was just getting worse and worse, and they felt his personality was just too big. Now, people were kind of wrong about Cam Newton's personality, which we'll get to. But Cam Newton was stranded. Nobody wanted this guy, and he was starting to just get desperate. So Bill Belichick brings him in. He's kind of looking at the quarterback situation saying, all right, we lost Tom Brady, and originally he had confidence in Jarret Stidham, but that quickly collapsed. Another thing we're going to get to when we touch upon Jarret Stidham. Cam Newton comes in, and Bill says, hey, I'll give you a 1-year deal, but you're going to take this crap. He obviously didn't actually say this, but he basically laid it out on the table, all right? You can come in on a 1-year deal. It's going to be a crappy contract, which it is. It's a cheap 1-year deal. And you have to just shut up. And when he says shut up, he means just don't say anything stupid. It's to do your job. Don't leak any inside information to the media. Don't go nuts. Just do your job. That is the Bill Belichick motto, and Cam Newton has done exactly that. Now, Cam Newton was not the plan for the New England Patriots. Originally, I sincerely believe it was Jarret Stidham and Brian Hoyer. Let's see what these guys have got, especially Jarret Stidham. Obviously, Hoyer's up there in age and not your future at quarterback. But Jarret Stidham, hey, he showed some good signs in his first season, mainly the preseason. We picked him in the 4th round of the 2019 NFL Draft. So, obviously, that doesn't scream franchise quarterback, but he showed good signs in the preseason. I understand that's the preseason, but 1 year under Tom Brady, and although he did struggle in his one game against the Jets, which was basically garbage time, hey, Bill Belichick was sitting here saying, I've got this young quarterback, he can be our future, and I can prove I am this fantastic head coach. If I can get Jarret Stidham and Brian Hoyer in here, and we can, make a playoff run, great. But then the trust starts to diminish with Jarret Stidham. He's going out to weddings instead of, following these COVID protocols and going to camp. He's attending all these weddings over the offseason, and Bill's just starting to lose trust in him. He's not really picking up on the playbook as quickly as we'd like. I say we because I am mad about it too. and I'm sure I'll reference back to that, but Jarret Stidham isn't the starter for a reason. And the reason is his work ethic. It's just not all there, right? He's got the arm talent. He has NFL starting upside. But he hasn't really caught on to the playbook very quick. I mean, even Patriots insiders will tell you the total poll, the pecking order, I guess it's not really a pecking order, but the list is, who knows the playbook the best? Brian Hoyer, he's been in the system forever. Then it's Cam Newton. And then it's definitely Jarrett Stidham last. Like, Jarrett Stidham has not picked up on the playbook very well, and the Patriots simply just don't trust him. They don't think he's mature enough, and it's clear they don't. I mean, it is clear they don't. Now, I don't think it's all because they don't trust Jarrett Stidham. I also think part of it is Bill has a soft spot with Cam Newton, and he has a deal with Cam Newton. He said, listen, you come in here on this cheap contract, you come in here and do your job and just stick to that, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you out. You're going to get this starting job. I'm going to help you revive your career. Now, we all know that that has been a lose-lose situation. The Patriots have not benefited from Newton this season, and Newton has not benefited from Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. But that was the deal that was originally set in place, and Cam Newton's upholding his part of the deal. Now, he hasn't been impressive on the field, but a lot of the deal was just the off the field stuff, talking to the media, the behind the scenes contract talks, which was just basically him signing that 1-year deal. He has done his job. He has held up he hasn't, but he's held up his end of the deal, and Bill Belichick is doing the same. Now with Jarrett Stidham, I'm not saying he's a franchise quarterback. I just want to put that out. I don't think he is. I don't think he's a franchise quarterback, but he deserves a shot. Jarrett Stidham has come in and been in his limited real NFL game, not counting preseason here. He hasn't been that great. I referenced back to that game in his rookie season against the Jets. It was a garbage time game. We already had the win in the bag, but he throws a pick on only 4 attempts. He wasn't really that great in that game. Then in this season, he's come in 4 times. He came into that Kansas City game, threw a really nice pass off the jump, but then he throws 2 picks. He was bad after that one good throw. Then against San Francisco, this was a blowout. This was a blowout game, so I wasn't really expecting a ton from him, but he goes 6 for 10 with the pick. Then against the Chargers, he had a really nice throw to Gunnar Olszewski. He looked good, but it was only 3 attempts, and you were already obliterating the Chargers. And then yesterday against the Rams, he gets a whole quarter. Goes 5 for 7 for 27 yards. He was all right, but he didn't show you anything that was overly impressive. With that being said, though, I don't think Jarrett Stidham has really got a fair shot. Now, I don't think he's worked hard enough for a really great, he deserves this. But the bar is set so low right now, quarterback in New England. Like, Cam Newton has set the bar so low that Jarrett Stidham, he's good enough for a shot. He is good enough for a shot. And Jarrett Stidham, sure, he struggled for the most part against, in his limited opportunities. But let's keep in mind that he hasn't got a full week of preparation. Like, he's just been thrown into blowouts. And that's not really how you should evaluate a quarterback. You can't evaluate a quarterback off a blowout. Whether you're blowing the team out or you're getting blown out yourself, you just can't truly evaluate the quarterback. It's just not how it works, especially on that limit of a sample size. Like, Chargers game was 3 throws. Like, he hasn't had more than 13 throws in one game. So, for Jarrett Stidham, I just want to see how he does in these next 3 games. You're 6-7. You're not making the playoffs. And even if you want to keep winning games, Jarrett Stidham might give you a better chance at this point. Because Cam Newton, he's not an effective quarterback. He's not. We look at just how, you look at the throwing motion. Now, I think this pisses Bill off. I think it does. His throwing motion. Cam Newton's, because Bill Belichick loves quarterbacks that can get the ball out quick. Cam Newton might have one of the slowest releases I have ever seen. I'm being dead serious. Cam Newton does to get zip on the ball because he doesn't have he just doesn't have something. There's doesn't put enough mustard on it, but he does when he gets to step into his throw and do this big wind up, and it doesn't make for an efficient offense, especially when you're as inaccurate as Cam Newton. He'll show you flashes here and there, a couple nice throws here and there. But, I mean, I even look at just the short game. Like, even if you could just throw a short pass, but he can't. From 5 yards away, here's what I think we should do. Here's what I propose for the people that do the fields. Here's what I propose. Just to, for the life, whether when it's not turf, get all the worms that are in the dirt, if there's any, and bring them somewhere else, because he's killing worms. Get, for ankles, ankle braces for all the players, because he's going to break somebody's ankles. Not because he is this Lamar Jackson type runner, it's because his throws are so low all the time that I'm afraid he's going to kill somebody's ankles, or he's going to kill a family of worms. It's that bad. He zips the ball into the dirt, and it's only like 5 yards away. Like, dude, how do you not make that throw? The dude cannot throw the football. He doesn't have the arm strength to get it downfield, even with the long windup. I mean, you saw yesterday, that's a Hail Mary situation. Is at the end of the first half, it's like, all right, an NFL starting quarterback should be able to, at least get this close to the end zone. The Patriots were so non-confident in Cam Newton that they ran the football. They ran a draw. And this also goes to Jarrett Stidham, too. Why not put Stidham in there? Because I know Stidham has the arm talent to reach the end zone. So I didn't understand that, but I didn't understand why they didn't put Stidham in. But that's just kind of what's going on in New England right now. It's just stick with Cam. And you even heard Bill after the game. We are sticking. Cam is our guy. Jarrett Stidham, this isn't a prediction from me. This isn't me saying Jarrett Stidham will be the starter next week in Miami or against the Dolphins. That isn't me saying that. It's me saying that he should be. Because Cam Newton has set the bar so low that Jarrett Stidham probably better than him. And at very least, he makes for a more entertaining product, and maybe you've got something there. Just maybe. I don't think you do. I don't see Jarrett Stidham as a starting quarterback. But wouldn't it suck if you had a franchise quarterback and you let it slip away because you want Cam Newton to play 3 more meaningless games when you know he's gone next year, and you know he's a boring product, and you know he sucks as an NFL starting quarterback? Wouldn't that be terrible? It would. Because then you got to spend these early picks on a quarterback, and if they don't pan it, just you know what road I'm going down there. I don't think Jarrett Stidham's a NFL starting quarterback. I don't think he's that. At least, I think he has the upside to be, but I'm not really banking on it. But just maybe you give him a week of preparation. Matter of fact, it's going to be over a week because you just played on Thursday Night Football, and then you have a Sunday game. So you're going to have about 10 days. So he's going to get a little over a week of preparation, because you have to remember, he hasn't got a week of preparation. The closest thing to a week of preparation he's gotten was the week against the Chargers last week when he won 45-0. He only threw the ball 3 times, but that was probably the best showing I've seen from him, and he got a lot of first-team reps because Cam Newton was limited / out with that abdomen injury. So you saw that. I mean, listen, I'm not saying that was really linked. It was only 3 attempts. You were obliterating the other team. I get that. But just maybe give the guy a shot, because Cam Newton has set the bar that low that Jarrett Stidham maybe an improvement right now, and maybe there's something there. Maybe Jarrett Stidham, I get it, his motor's not that high. Maybe you need to hand him the keys, let him prep first team whole week, and maybe you've got yourself a franchise quarterback. I don't think that's the case. I highly doubt it. But at very least, he makes for a more entertaining product. And I'd even say at this point, he gives your team a better shot at winning the football game. Now, people say, well, Cam Newton's more of a caretaker. I think Jarrett Stidham's more interception prone. You're absolutely correct. But Cam Newton is still fairly interception prone. I mean, let's not sit here and act like he's not. I mean, his interception percentage is 3.3%, and he's running a high school offense. As much as the high school offense means he's not going to put up amazing stats, that also means your interception should not be that high, because you're only running screen passes and quick outs and slants. They're not asking you to do a whole lot. And he still has thrown double the amount of interceptions as he has touchdowns. And I said it. The touchdown numbers in this offense aren't going to be that high for him, especially passing the football. But his interception numbers should not be that high either. The dude's only thrown the ball 301 times, and he's got 10 interceptions. And they're all simple stuff. It's nothing complex. There's nothing complex about this offense. That's also what makes it boring. It's like I'm watching a high school offense, and I'm not interested. This is an NFL team. I'm not interested in watching the college product. Not even college. Sorry, it was a compliment. High school product. It's a high school product. That's what this offense is. It's a high school product. Now, this isn't all on Cam Newton. It isn't. It isn't all on Cam Newton. The receivers around him suck. They're awful. Jacoby Myers. I like Myers, but he's your number one wide receiver. You've got him, Demir Bird, and N'Keal Harry have really been the three wide receivers for you this year. And Gunnar Olszewski, but he hasn't even been a guy you've relied on in the receiving game. He's just a special teams guy, but he's your fourth wide receiver right now. I understand Edelman's banged up and all that, but your tight ends, you've had Ryan Izzo as the starter, but now he's on IR. So Dalton Keene and Devin Asiasi are our two guys, our two rookies that we picked in the middle of the draft. It's, in the running back group, I don't mind our running backs. I don't mind them. I like the running back by committee. That's the approach I'd take as well, and I like it. I like what we got. It's all right, but it's nothing spectacular. It's not like he's got a Christian McCaffrey or Saquon Barkley back there. And just to go off the stats, now I'm not just saying this was my breaking point last night against the Rams, because they ran the ball a lot, and that was fine. They were having success running the football, and they were just attacking the Rams personnel. The Rams were coming out with only two linebackers and an extra defensive back, so what are you going to do? You're going to run the football, especially with this passing attack. And they were having success running the football for the most part, so I don't blame them for going out with a run-heavy attack. But that's not my point. It's not just because last night was yada, yada, yada. Last night I thought they came in with... I didn't love the play calling, to be honest. But I thought overall, running the football a lot, that was a smart approach. Listen, you took what the Rams were giving you. Like, the Rams were throwing out an extra DB, and they only had two linebackers because of it. So, yeah, you're going to attack them with the run, especially when you're more successful running the football than you are passing it. But Cam Newton really can't make a throw. Like, the only times he makes a good throw, for the most part, is really when he has a clean pocket for 3+ seconds, and a receiver's fairly open, and he's got enough time to step into his throw, do that big wonky windup that I hate, and actually get some zip on it. He struggles. There's a problem. And some of this is on the Patriots coaching staff, because we're talking about, how his mechanics are getting good, but they've actually got worse as the season's gone on. Like, Josh McDaniels and Bill Belichick have done a terrible job with that man's mechanics. They've got worse. They haven't got better, they've got worse. And Cam Newton as a player hasn't got any better. That's why, when people say, with a guy like Cam Newton, you just need to give him time. No, he's not getting any better. This isn't going to get any better. He's not going to improve as a runner or a passer. In this game plan, you can't evolve it. It's just this. It's just this. In high school offense. It's a high school offense. It's simple little trick run plays. I mean, every once in a while we throw in trick play. We've really used up all our trick plays this season. We really have. And it's frustrating to watch. It's a frustrating product. Jarret Stidham deserves a chance. Because maybe there's something there and the bar is just so low. Like, I'm sick of watching Cam Newton. I am. I've liked what he's done off the field. He's been a great leader. I also forgot to throw that in. He's been a phenomenal leader for the Patriots this season. And that's why I was okay with the Patriots stopping against Stidham in these past couple weeks, because your team is starting to get on a bit of a roll. Oh, when I say roll... you know what I mean. You were getting on a bit of a win streak, and you were in the playoff hunt, and Cam Newton had been a great leader for your team. So if you throw in Stidham, even though I think Stidham might be a better quarterback, I don't think that helps your playoff odds. It might hurt them, actually, because the team might revolt to that a little bit, because Cam Newton's been a great leader. But now you're out of the playoff race. 6-7. Listen, I understand, they could win out, and they'd have a slim chance. Slim. And as I said before, Jarret Stidham may give you a better shot at this point to Cam Newton. The only reason I'm saying he might not is two reasons. One, leadership. That's the biggest one. And two is if this dude's really interception prone. If this dude is actually really, really interception prone, like, all right, you throw the ball 25 times, he's thrown 3 picks. Like, if that's the case, we got a problem. But as long as he's not way too interception prone, the leadership thing, I don't care. I don't care at this point. You're not making the playoffs. And as much as I want to... I hate tanking. You don't tank in football. I don't tank in football. It doesn't work. You might get lucky, but it comes back to bite you. It's like karma, and culture is so big. No tanking in football. And I'm not saying the Patriots are going to tank. Even if Jarret Stidham comes in, this doesn't mean you're tanking. You might actually be better with Jarret Stidham. But from a leadership standpoint, I don't care if the team revolts to it. Like, you're out of the playoff hunt. And I want to see what this kid's got. Just because you have so many holes. You have so many holes. Your front seven is awful. You need wide receivers. You need a tight end. You need a lot of things, and even cornerback. If J.C. Jackson and Stephon Gilmore both leave, which I think is a real possibility, you are going to need to address the cornerback situation. You have a lot of holes on this roster. Typically, a lot of people break it up like this. Okay, do you have a franchise quarterback? Yes or no? And what is around that quarterback? The rest of the team. Quarterback is just that valuable that a lot of people, that's not really how it is, but that's the general premise that a lot of people use, just generally. The Patriots cannot check either of those boxes off. But if Jarret Stidham, I'm just throwing this out as a hypothetical because Cam Newton is not the answer for the future. I'd rather see what Stidham's got, and he even gives you a better chance to win right now. I think that might be the case, but who cares? Maybe you see what he's got over these next 3 games, and if he shows you enough, maybe you feel like you have something, at least to build upon. And maybe next season he can prove he's a franchise guy. Do I think that'll be the case? No, I don't. But at this point, let's resort to it. Let's see what he's got. Because I don't want to blow this. I don't want to have the guy and lose him. I don't want that to be the case because this team has too many holes to afford a slip up like that, especially with the way Bill Belichick's been drafting over the past 5+ years. So let's see what Stidham's got. And I don't want it to be this. I don't want it to be Cam Newton starts against the Dolphins and the Bills, and then Jarrett Stidham gets the week in Week 17 against the Jets. No, I don't care. Week 17's a joke. You're going to be facing the Jets, who are a joke. And at that point, you're going to be a joke because you're going to be out of the playoff hunt. So that's going to be a dumb game. And it's one game. It's one game in Week 17 against the Jets, who might be the worst team in football. Not might be, they are the worst team in football. So that game's not going to tell me anything. If Jarrett Stidham throws 5 touchdowns, it's not going to really tell me anything. Maybe a bit, but no. I'm not sitting there feeling good about the quarterback position. Now, even if he shows me good things in these 3 games, I'm not feeling great about the quarterback position, but at least I feel like there's something to build upon. I don't feel pressured to get a quarterback this offseason. If he shows enough, I'll be like, okay, we can prioritize the rest of the team, build a better offense around him, and then see what he's got next year. And then if it's not there, all right, at least we're building a better base, and then we can get the guy after that, maybe, if that's the case. Again, I don't think this is a franchise quarterback you have in Jarrett Stidham, but I want to see what he's got. I'm done with Cam Newton. The product sucks. He's not the future, and at least there might be something with Stidham. Give him a fair shot, Bill. I don't care about the deal. I don't care about your ego, because Cam Newton was the guy I stuck with at the beginning of the season. I took him over Stidham, and I clearly haven't showed trust in Stidham, because that's been the case. That has exactly been the case. He's made it clear Cam Newton's his guy. He's going to win it with Cam. And although he knows this team's kind of out of it, but the big part is, too, he clearly does not trust Jarrett Stidham. And he doesn't want, I mean, it's clear. So now he doesn't want to throw Stidham in there and see him do good. I say that as a bit of a stretch. From an ego standpoint, maybe he doesn't, but obviously he'd like the next guy. That was a bit of a stretch. But let's see what he's got. I'm done with the I can't complete a pass, because Cam Newton can't complete a pass. It's a terrible product to watch. Cam Newton's not your next guy. Give Stidham a chance, because maybe, just maybe, there's something there. That's all I've got to say. That's all I've got to say. I'm done ranting, done rambling. But, Bill, please announce Jarrett Stidham as the starter now. I know it won't happen, but please do that. But anyway, guys, make sure you go follow my Instagram at After the Buzzer Sports Talk. Go follow my Twitter and all that. And of course, go check out TWSN's social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of that stuff. Also, go subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys later.